Good day, we are taking a look today at the A16. We're going to be working on this model. It is a nice entry-level machine. It is in our electronic range. It is the second one up. It is all push-button control, and it does have a jog dial for selecting your stitches. We are going to be focusing on the needle plate today. I want to just explain to you what all the guides are on the actual plate. So when we look at our needle plate, we have got different indications and different markings on it. Firstly, at the top, we've got 5/8, 1 inch. The inches are at the top. And on the second row, we have got our centimeters. Now, centimeters are traditionally used for dressmaking, and inches are used for piecing in your quilting section. Then we have got horizontal and vertical lines on our plate that all help you with different functions. Now, when we're using the centimeter lines for dressmaking, your 5/8 is your traditional 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. But also remember, your needle position is very important. All our Brother Machines needle positions are set to start off our needle position left. That will then line up with your 5/8 centimeter seam allowance to give you the 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. Okay, you will see I have drawn two lines, a 5/8 seam allowance and a 1 centimeter, so that's a 1.5 and a 1 centimeter seam allowance. When I'm sewing with my raw edge of my fabric on my 5/8, you will see if I bring my needle down by lowering my needle down button, the needle goes in exactly on my 5/8 seam allowance. So when I sew and I guide my fabric on the edge here of my 5/8 seam allowance, I will then be able to sew a 5/8 seam. I'm going to just lift up my needle position. I'm going to adjust my needle position to the center. That would then go down. You'll see if I bring my needle down where it sews. I'm just going to do a few stitches just to show you what actually happens with your seam allowance. Okay, there you can now see where my needle position was on the left and I sewed on my 5/8. That is where it was sewing perfectly on the seam. There I moved my needle position to the center, still having the edge of my fabric on the 5/8. But you can see there's about a 5 millimeter difference in that gap. That means your garment is going to have a centimeter extra on its seam because it's 5 millimeters on this part and 5 millimeters on the other part. And that is where crucial fitting and very precise work won't come in the right spaces. When I line my fabric up with needle position middle, I then have the center of my foot on my line now. Then you will notice on the side here, it is on the 2 centimeter marking where I put the edge of my fabric. Then when I sew there, it will still give me a 5/8 of a seam because I have got my needle position in the center. I hope that helps you to sew. We will carry the discussion further with the different needle positions and the markings on the plate. Enjoy your sewing.